sponsored by CanadianModelRailroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you. And now on with the show with your hosts, Peter and Joe.
Well, Joe, what time is it?
I guess it's train time.
Train time.
Season 4.
Season 4, episode
44.
44.
Which is August.
Yeah.
That we publish in September.
We're publishing in September, yes.
So in September, you will have another video later on.
Yeah. We've
been
a little busy.
Yeah. I can say that. As we can see in the video that will be coming in, that will give you an idea why we're late.
Yes, we're going to be looking at CMR.
Yes, this video is CMR.
Yep.
We got a little episode about what your brother Ivan Hall did take from a very rich farmer in Saskatchewan.
Yes, on his way here for his visit back.
Yeah. You see, collectors collect anything.
Oh, yeah.
You got some people who even collect the one-to-one.
Yes, and that's what Garry does.
Yes, that's what Garry does. You got definitely the photo of the month and the view from above, and then you will have some comments from us.
Yes.
So I guess...
On with the show.
On with the show. Let's go see what happened on the CMR.
What we're seeing right now is the new parts of the Rockies. The Rockies used to stop right where the camera is. Now we add on the other 22 feet of it. You can see all the tunnels in here where we got the tube bridge, which is not totally finished. That's where there's a fall going in. You can see a train. This one is on main 2, what is the CP line. The one above, the line above is for the forestry. And that one goes to the helix. Now, right in the middle, I will come a little closer, is an insert in there so that we can build the village that we would be seeing in the mirror that you see on the back. Now, the left side of the mountain is the Rockies, the right side is the Selkirk. Now, as you can see now, you see some white foam core in the front of you. That is the liftoff for the tunnel that is there, and the fascia has not yet been cut to reflect the mountain. And what would be on the side here where you see the tracks and so on, that would be elevated to 6.5 inch, where we'll have rock coming in on the side. Now we can see the other side of the mountain there, and what you're seeing is the Selkirk. If we reverse the image, that's what the Rockies look like. The Selkirk mountain, where you see the liftoff now that would be built, the Selkirk is like it's finishing on the isle. Now that portions where we talk about doing the village there, which is on a concept right now, and the mirrors, which are angles that do not show the camera or the people, but will show the village from the mirror only, not from the aisle. This liftoff right now would be totally sealed after the village is done, and the scenic trees and so on are add on to it. What's left to do also is on the second level, on the level of forestry, all the tunnels here have to be shored up to about here because they're too tall. Now we see where the shed is and the shed for the forestry, and we see the connections now in between the old Rockies and the new one. When we're talking about concept, the concept here is in regard of the steel mill, which is the Cuber Steel Incorporated. So here we see where the gas from the retort, the extra gas are, and where is the flame thrower right in there. Now the retort is here. Some work to be done on the discharge here. We got the small locomotive that is there, and we got the Larry carts. Following to that is the rotary dumper. That is the second segment of the steel mill. Beside it, or behind it I might say, would be air liquid, where all the air is needed for this building there. This one here that is not finished. We got 5 chimney to put on it. We got the bucket for the crane here to be done, and that is the basic oxygen furnace. Right beside we have the blast furnace, where the iron, the pig iron is made. Now from these bottle cars that you see there, it would be transferred to this one, to the BOF, and ingots on these ingot cars would be made. Now all the piping is not done, and the basic sinicking is not done. The building immediately beside the blast furnace, which is this one here, is the blower house. That's where all the piping will come out from to go to all the others. And in here we have a tracks that got to go to the first door in there, and that is the rolling mill. Now that's all the process coming in. The ingot coming in from the BOF will end up in the rolling mill. Now the rolling mill, you can see interior details. This specific structures is not yet weathered. It's just been finished. The first part in here at the end, you see the shear, and then you have 5 stands that roll the steel, and you also have, as you can notice, the steel that is being rolled. The 2 tracks on the front are the loading tracks for the rolling stock. Where you see the truck is a crane that will be there, and from there right up to the end would be yards where the truck would be loaded. If I pan back to the rolling mill here, where you got the 2 tracks for loading the cars, is a massive cranes that going in there. That is not built yet. The building itself is 48-inch long. The width of it is 5.5 inch, and where is the reheat in this building here that we see, and that part of the building, that is 13-inch further out. So that would be the complex for the steel, for Cuber Steel Incorporated. That is named after a good friend of ours that passed away a couple years ago. So I hope you enjoyed the concept right now. It's on the conceptual side. It's not finished. We'll keep you updated on the mill, and we'll keep you updated also on the Rockies and the Selkirk.
Well, from Ivan Hall, the background is Garry Southgate, a wealthy farmer from North Battleford, Saskatchewan, acquired the old Kelowna wine train. The train consists of 23 coach, 2 FA units, 6311, which is an ex-Southern Pacific, a Black Widow, acquired from the Grand Canyon Railway, and the number 6304. So on the first photo, you see the FA unit 6311 and 6304. On photo number 2, you see the photo of the FA and B units number 1750 and 1761 from the Keokuk Junction Railway. And on photo number 3, view some of the Garry's coaches in the grain elevator yard at East End, Saskatchewan. The field in the foreground is designed for an RV park campsite by Garry to accommodate visitors. In the video, we are at East End, Saskatchewan, and the Hidden Valley, which was home of the T-Rex dinosaur. This is Garry Southgate train consisting of 25 coaches and 4 F unit for power in this out of a place. On photo number 4, you see coaches from the Okanagan Valley wine train and coach RPCX3. On the next photo, you view the train coach Mount Royal Club, the 30th and 40th Hollywood car. In the last photo, you see the RPCX 2143 XCN coach Conestoga River from Waterloo St. Jacob Railways. Now the videos note the tracks and rail, and the video is owned by the Great Western Railway from Assiniboia through Shaunavon to Climax in the southwest Saskatchewan. You can reach Garry Southgate by dialing 306-297-277. I hope you enjoyed this little segment. Well, Peter, that's what we've been doing on the CMR.
Yes.
So from now on, we'll make some comment on it on the outro.
Yep.
So let's go look at the photo of the month.
And view from above.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Well, Peter, you've been busy, very, very busy with the Rockies.
Yes.
What can you tell us about the Rockies?
Well, we've gone from where we left off by the logging camp, and we've continued down 22 feet?
Yeah, it's 22
About
feet.
22 feet of Rockies, and then we end with the Selkirks by Alberta, and in between there we had a little hatch that we made so that I could come up from under the helix and poke my head out and do the interiors of the mountains,
which is the valley there.
which is valley, and that's where the mirror is, where you'll be able to see the village.
Well, that mirrors his place in a very specific ways.
Oh yeah, it's angled so that all you'll be able to see is the village. You won't see anybody like walking down the aisle, or if we're taking videos of the mountains, you won't see the camera. It's angled so that it takes all of that out. All you see is the village.
And the concept of that insert there, right? That you see the village from the mirrors won't be seen from the aisle.
No, actually, depending on where you're standing in the aisle, yeah, we've followed our practice of looking at view blocks,
Right.
and we've created a couple there. You come around the end of the peninsula, and there's certain things you see and certain things you don't see until you move down the aisle, and so on. And we've done that all the way along on the CMR. We've looked at, where we can have view blocks.
Natural one.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, that village, that's why the concept is like that. You can see the valley from the mirrors, which a lot of time you won't even realize it's a mirror.
Yep.
But if you're standing on the aisle, you
won't.
cannot physically see that village.
No. It'll be blocked behind scenery and
yeah. Which will give a special effect, especially with the light on the building and so on.
Yes.
So, and you have already done where the fall will be in between the tunnel.
Yes. Yeah, we've and the whole Rocky section we've followed our practice of the tin foil over cardboard framing, and then the plaster cloth, and then there's 2 or 3 coats of thin compound, so that it's like a pancake mix consistency. And we've done all the way along on all of the mountains, so we've continued that as well. And then of course there's the layered painting, airbrushing that's been done on top of that, with the yellow ochre and the browns and the grays and the blacks and the shadowing and all that kind of stuff. And going back to that little insert, like we said in the video, when the scenery is all finished on the insides of the mountains, and that will be sealed so that it won't lift out anymore.
Yeah, we won't see no joint, nothing of the sort.
That'll all be finished off and sealed. Yeah.
And in the video, we see the white foam boards that is there, and that is the lift off for the 2 tunnels that are there.
Yeah, we just created that the other day, and if you look at in the video, you can see where we've marked it, where it still has to be cut to form the height of the mountain.
Tentative cuts, because the framing of that will determine exactly what it is.
Yeah, we still have to do the cardboard framework on there.
Because the Selkirk itself, Peter, technically they're coming in all along the aisle.
Oh yeah.
You see, and that's why on all along the aisles, when you will be looking at the train, you kind of look over top of the mountain.
Yes, and that has to be done on any layout that you do, because you have highways and rivers or whatever that have to go off the edge of the layout in order to, get the realistic look of what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, but very seldom, though, Peter, that you see a layout where the fascia on the aisle is something like
so
6.5 to 7 inch above
Yeah.
the layout itself,
Yes.
so that you look down on the train. You don't see that often.
No.
But to
it
create
forces
the
it-
illusion
Yeah.
of that river that we got in between
Yeah.
that, you have to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
And it also carries the Selkirks to the right. You have to have the fascia high there because the Selkirks are still
Right.
continuing on, right? So
That's right.
yeah.
Well, now is 55 feet altogether of Rocky Mountains that
Yes.
been done this year.
Yeah.
That's quite an achievement. No doubt about it. People who have come and visit in here, people that we know, they were pretty impressed with those.
Well, you and I are pretty happy with what
Oh, yeah.
we've accomplished.
Oh
so,
yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Me, during the time you were busy with the Rockies, I was busy with the steel mill.
Steel mill, yeah.
So I started with the retort, and then I had on the gas, the extra gas, the recycled gas that they sell and so on, and the burner, the rotary dumper, and that was the start of the complex. The complex is named after a very good friend of ours that passed away a couple of years ago, Elmer Kuber, and it became the Kuber Steel Incorporated, TSI. And then I built the blast furnace. The blast furnace, I pretty much so built it according to the kit. It's not a ton of modification on that one, other than all the lighting and so on. And then I built the building for the BOF, the basic oxygen furnace. Now, that is not finished. There's still the chimney to be put on the back of it. It's still the bucket of the crane there for that crane that bring the stuff for the... and I built the cars for the ingots, the ingots itself, the Larry cart for the retort, and then I went into the rolling mill.
Yeah.
The rolling mill was quite of a project because I took the cornerstone kits, but I modified it. So I end up with a rolling mill, and here was 48 inches long, which when you convert that into HO is pretty much so the right size for a rolling mill.
Yeah. And then we had, along with that, we had our track gang had to do some track modifications for the mill.
Yes.
The two sidings that
Yes.
go in there. So they had to do a little bit of movement on Main 2 to accommodate that. So
That's right.
So we had them busy doing rail modifications.
And matter of fact, is one rail that is not in place yet. The one that goes to the
Into the-
reheat for
right.
the rolling
Yeah.
mill. And that whole section there, even where is the loading of the finished product and from the retorts and so on, that is on its own block, which
Yes.
is not wired yet.
Yes.
So that has to be wired.
It's on its own breaker, yeah.
Yeah, and to the bus that goes to its own breakers. The inside of the rolling mill, which right now the rolling mill is not weathered, I got to weather that. It's totally detailed, and it's lighting. The lighting is in there.
Yes.
Each building have very specific lighting.
Yeah.
And you got 5 stand altogether
Right.
and 1 shear.
One shear.
So the roller in between the stand have been scratch built. 4 of the stand have been scratch built.
Yes.
So is the shear.
The shear, yeah.
And the actual roller form that they give with the kit end up where's the reheat, because the measurement weren't right and so on. So,
Right.
and then we put the pulpit in place and
And
so
then
on.
you scratch built the rest of the rollers between the stands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so is the
And
manipulator.
the
on both
manipulators, yeah, yeah,
sides. So,
yeah. So, yeah.
some ladderings have to be done. Is a logo that has to be designed
Yes.
for Cooper Steel,
Mhm.
which will also be represented on the locomotive
Yes.
of that, because there's some locomotive that the only place they will run is there.
Is there, yeah.
So is some cars also. I find out the building of the car for the ingots or the steel plate. It's not a bad kit, but you really have to tweak it if you want it to work properly.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
so I will not say that the kit that they sell for the ingots, I don't think that kit has been well thought of.
Hmm,
You
okay.
know, so, but whatever. So anyway, folks,
Hopefully you enjoyed it.
yeah, that's our show for this month.
Yes.
So you got a good idea of what we have done, okay? Remember, conceptualize, build, conceptualize, then sceneries, and finish it with all the details.
Yes.
And in the months to come, we'll be starting to do all the scenicking on the mountain, which will totally change what you already see now. So till then, have
Happy
a great
modeling.
month, happy modeling, and we'll see you in episode 45.